Alright, how is everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Tesla stock here today. We've got some news that I think personally is a really good sign for Tesla stock. They're moving forward with a lot of things, and I just wanted to talk about it now. It's looking like I wouldn't be surprised if this stock passes or reaches $1,000 within the next year or two. It's very likely that it will happen. I'm going to tell you guys why I think it will personally happen with all the different things going around. But nonetheless, this isn't necessarily a stock that I'm buying heavily right now. I do have a lot. Most of my portfolio is Tesla. It's not personally my favorite for risk reward, but nonetheless, it's a very intriguing stock for basically anyone looking to purchase it, especially if you like the company and stuff like that. So right before we jump into it, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Now I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the summertime, and basically I cannot monetize the channel, or basically a lot of features are taken away from me until I reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys can just subscribe to this channel, if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, if you can do that, that'll be really appreciated. It'll mean a lot to me, really. So yeah, I mean, without further ado, let's just jump straight into the video. Now, the first thing is, basically, if you guys haven't seen the Las Vegas loop, where basically they're done building the tunnel and they showed off the tunnel. So if you haven't seen that piece, it's definitely pretty interesting. And this article right here shows off Vegas tunnel and it looks lame. I mean, that looked pretty sick. I don't know why this guy said it looks lame, or whoever wrote this article, but usually they do this just to get clicks, right? But nonetheless, that was actually really cool to see. Now, what really was crazy about that specifically was something Elon Musk said. Now, in the video, he basically said, does the Boring Company use autopilot in the Vegas loop tunnel? And then Elon said it will. So basically, if you haven't seen that, first of all, make sure to check it out. But basically what the tunnel was, it stretches out throughout the whole Las Vegas Convention Center, and it doesn't have a single driver. So basically, if you want to go to one side of the Las Vegas Convention Center to the other, and if you guys have been there, like, it is packed usually. I mean, unless you go there in like a random weekday, right? But most people that go there, it's packed. It'll take like 30 minutes plus to walk from one side of the convention to the other. But this loop makes you do it in 2-3 minutes. Boom, you're there. And it's actually really cool. But the reason why this is so huge is, think about it. If the city of Las Vegas allows you to be traveled without a driver, like no one is going to sit in the driver's seat, that's going to open up regulatory approval so much quicker. Because if other cities see, okay, Las Vegas has been doing it for so long, boom, it's going to let other cities be a lot more inclined of helping Tesla out with actually making it and approving it. Because we know the autopilot is so far, I think, 8 times safer than a normal driver, than if a normal person was driving it anyway. And they basically said that they're going, or Elon tweeted, I think today or yesterday, that he will be actually releasing the next version of autopilot really soon. I forgot when he said this, but it is coming really damn soon, and that's actually really good news. So if this does launch, I'm trying to find the tweet, but I don't think I have it up. But nonetheless, if that launches sometime soon, then I think it might launch at the end of this year. Like, the beta will sort of be over at the end of this year. I wouldn't be surprised at all. If you look at how many people actually go to the convention center, this is not only going to be good for like traveling and stuff like that, or getting approval, but the amount of people that are going to be looking at this car, or looking at all the cars there of Tesla. I think they have like Model 3s and Model X's. Those people are going to be inclined to purchase one eventually, right? We see 6 million people go to Vegas, but that's not really relevant. But the people in the convention center, 1.3 million people. So even, let's say, 10% of people, of those people even look at the tunnel, not even travel, just like go down there to look at it. That's a good amount of people exposed to it. And if that builds on every single year, this might become like an attraction, and a lot of people may be inclined. This is in 2018, and I feel like that number might be a lot higher since all this traveling demand is around. And yeah, I think that's another really like good sign there. But nonetheless, the next thing that I wanted to show is Tesla sales in Japan rose 1,300% year over year by Model 3 owners. So if you guys don't know, for some reason, I found that a lot of like Asian, Japanese and stuff like that, a lot of them really like Teslas. Like if I'm ever driving on the road, it's almost always Asian in a Tesla. I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but they do love their Tesla. So I'm not really surprised to see it up 1,300% year over year. And if you guys, this is one thing I was not expecting, but the China sales for the Model 3 were insane. They were nuts. Look at this. Basically, they sold 100% over year. They sold 3,500 units and 2,500 units of the Model 3. And then the rest were, I believe, the Model Y. That is crazy. Or actually, 35 in total, right? 25 Model 3 and then 10K was the Model Y. So 3,500 units. I thought this was for the whole quarter. This is only in March. That is crazy. I mean, do simple math here, right? If you take that number and you times it by just 4, or I'm not 4, but 12 for each month of the year, you have Tesla doing 500,000 cars only in China. That's if it doesn't grow at all. That's if Tesla doesn't grow at all and they don't have their made in China Model 2 or whatever it's going to be called, right? That is crazy. Let's say they do this for the first 6 months, and then later on they go up to 40K or even 45. I mean, if it grew 100% year over year, or 93%, it's not too far-fetched to say it's going to go 30% or so later on. So let's say the next 6 months are 45K units. And then, yeah, that's basically 500,000, right? That's almost 500,000, if not already reaching 500,000 cars only in China. That's not even counting, like, obviously we saw Japan. I wouldn't expect if that continues to grow. Nonetheless, I did not know that was an insane number. Okay, let's say do 500,000 China, and then Tesla's expected to do 1 million cars, or I mean, probably around 800,000 cars in 2021. That's half the cars are now going to China. That's crazy. Literally half of Tesla's demand would be in China, which is not, I wasn't expecting that to be that high of a number. I mean, maybe you guys that looked into that side of the business more saw that China would have been such a big market, but I mean, for me personally, I wasn't expecting that much of the company's car sales to be going from China. And then another thing is we saw that they sold their millionth car. I mean, this was kind of leaked, but I believe just like yesterday or today, they sold their millionth car, which is kind of cool. If you think about it, yeah, they barely did 500,000 last year, so that's pretty decent. So that means for autopilot, imagine 1 million cars driving on the road, all of them collecting data. Imagine how of a compounded system that will be in terms of getting data for autopilot. Like, if you don't know Google's Waymo company, which is autopilot, they're the OG in car autopilot. They have less mileage and data in the whole existence of the company that Tesla gets in 1 day. I think it was 1 day. Let that sink in, man. 1 day Tesla gets more data than all of Google's AI team for their autopilot. That is kind of nuts. And basically, the Q1 earnings calls for April 26th. So that's actually pretty soon, right? If you guys are watching this when I release it, then in 16 days, you guys will see Q1 earnings call. I might do a live stream when they release that earnings call. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because I might do a live stream or a recap. I'm definitely going to do a recap of the earnings, but I might even live stream the earnings. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, make sure you're subscribed. And yep, that is pretty nuts nonetheless. Now, one last thing is basically, a lot of people haven't been talking about this, but there's going to be some sort of tax rebate bill, right, for Tesla. And they're most likely going to be extending it for another few 100,000 cars, because the first one was 200,000 cars. And the next one is most likely going to happen. If it's not in the Infrastructure Act, it's most likely going to be in some kind of like Green Act or another type of act that he's going to do. But almost for sure that electric cars are going to get a boost because of this. And if you do simple math, right? Let's say that passes and they do another 300 cars, which is very conservative, because a lot of people think it's going to be like 500,000 cars will get that credit, 400,000. But let's say 300,000 cars get the credit, right? And then let's say half of those cars go to like the Model 3, half of them go to the Model Y. So the average price would be, let's say it's 49,000 for the Y, 37,000, 38,000 for the Model 3. We take half of that number. I believe half of that is like 43,000. And then we multiply that by 300,000 cars that they basically will sell. It'll fly off the shelf. If they release a 7,000 tax credit, that'll mean that Model 3, with the incentives, especially in California. I think California gets like 2,000 additionally. You have the car being 29K, 28K, and that's if they do the 7K one. If it's 10K off, you'll have the Model 3 fly off the shelves. This car will be cheaper than a Honda Civic, like way cheaper. So those cars will fly off the shelf, right? Once you can grasp that, just do the math here. Oops. Okay. Yeah. If you do the math here, you have them doing 100 or not 100, 12 or 13 billion dollars in revenue just off that bill, just off the cars that are gonna fly off the shelf. Hopefully, I think the Texas factories should be built by the end of the year as well. So if that comes out, that'll definitely help. And yeah, that'll be nuts. So 13 billion, that's gonna be like a, what is that, like a 30-40% increase in the sales they did all of last year just from that. And that's most likely passing. When they announced that bill at Tesla, didn't really move much. I mean, they kind of like announced that they're gonna do something like that here, and then maybe I think it did go up on the day that he actually talked about the Infrastructure Act. A lot of EV stocks went up, but Tesla just went up like 1 or 2%. So that additionally, I mean, that's looking pretty good for Tesla, dude. That's looking pretty good, because remember, you have analysts doing about, for next year, 2020, actually no, let's look at 2021 even. They have them doing around 48 billion, but if they do double, almost double, 80% increase of cars they did last year, 500K, they go to 800K cars, that's like a 50, 60, 70% increase. That's going to be easily $60 billion in revenue they're going to do. And analysts have them doing about 56 billion. So that's going to be, they're going to blow that number out of the water, man. I think they will in 2021, especially if what all I said happened. And then if autopilot can release in a big way as well, you can see that their EPS would go up a lot. So that'll bring their forward PE even lower. 170 for Tesla, I mean, that's high, but that's not that bad, man. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Tesla right now, it's not the best stock, like, oh, easy money. Like, it's not going to be like an easy money stock. But if you have a few-year outlook of Tesla, I mean, yeah, it's basically there. Especially if a lot of these things that are probably are very probable of becoming reality. If not, they are for sure going to be coming. As long as nothing crazy goes wrong, maybe the government says, okay, no, we're not doing this autopilot stuff. I mean, that's going to be crazy. And we haven't even gone into like the energy side of the business, stuff like that, chargers, none of that. That's just strictly cars. It's looking pretty good for Tesla right now. Like, I'm definitely happy holding my shares. I'm not even thinking about selling them for sure. So, I mean, yeah, there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, this is what I think, that if everything goes true, Tesla definitely has a chance. If it happens this year, in the next 1 to 2 years, especially, it's going to 1,000, if not plus, in my opinion. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Once again, make sure you just drop a like and make sure you subscribe to this channel. That will mean a lot for me personally. And I'll see you guys on the next video.